Hey, welcome to the Expert Scale Show. Today I am joined by Austin Armstrong, and he is here to talk about something pretty cool, how his viral social media content has produced over 300, what is it, Austin? 350 million views in the last month. Is that right?
Yeah, it's been pretty insane. Just on Facebook, about 350 million reach, about a little over 300,000 new followers every month just on Facebook right now. It's kind of mind-blowing.
That is absolutely insane. And I know even in our private community, people have been banging down your door asking, what in the world is Austin Armstrong doing? So we had to have you on the show. Thanks so much for coming out and sharing just whatever magic wizardry you're doing behind the scenes there.
Yeah, Richard, thank you so much for having me on. It's been a blessing. I've just been doing this for like 20 years, man. So I've picked up a couple tricks along the way.
I love that, man. That's really the secret there, is most people don't talk about, is every overnight success, every $350 million views thing that people want to elevate is usually about 20 years in the making.
Yes.
But hey, experts, that's one of the things we love about experts, is that experts, they shortcut that. They accelerate the learning curve for others. So thanks for accelerating our community's learning curve today. I'd love to just start by, let's dig a little bit into that 20 years of background. You're kind of known as the face of faceless videos, which I think is so fun. That's what Syllabi or Syllabi, your platform, your innovative AI-driven SaaS platform is kind of known for, although you guys do so much more than just faceless videos. It's really an idea all the way to execution, full stack video platform. But tell me, like the last 20 years in the making, how did you become the face of faceless videos and build to where you are today?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's been a long journey, and part of the benefit of growing your personal brand is that you're able to pivot it to a lot of different topics along the way. So I've been doing social media marketing since MySpace when I was 14 years old. People are looking at this, they're like, how could you possibly have been doing this for 20 years? I'm 34. I'll let you do the math there. I stumbled into it and was immediately hooked. You know, it's funny. I'm writing a book right now about marketing strategy and everything. And I'm writing an entire chapter about those early days on MySpace and how fundamental that they were and how many synergies there are of what I'm doing right now that I was doing as a 14, 15, 16-year-old on that platform. But it's really just about consistency. I started my really professional career about 11 years ago when I moved across country from New Jersey to California, stumbled into a video marketing internship and fell in love. Started as an unpaid intern, worked my way up to a paid intern, to a part-time employee, to a full-time employee, really developed a lot of expertise in the behavioral health expert space. So working with psychologists and therapists and addiction treatment professionals in that space and getting that life-changing information out from their head into a format of video content. And so that led me to starting my first company, which was called Socialty Pro, a social media and SEO organic marketing agency that specialized in that, but a lot of service-based businesses. And along the way, I had the idea for Syllabi, and I used all of that experience from social media and the repeatable processes from working with service-based business owners and turned it into an automated workflow within Syllabi. And so I've had a lot of I've been the guy on a lot of different things over the years. I was the addiction treatment marketing guy. I was the SEO guy on TikTok. Then I became the TikTok guy for a long time because I had a lot of success on TikTok. Then I became the short form video guy because I didn't want to just be the TikTok guy. And so I figured out short form video across every platform and have exploded my reach. And then I became the AI guy because I was showing all of these useful websites for business owners and entrepreneurs creating content. Like these 5 websites feel illegal to know is a series that really exploded for me. And then so it was an easy pivot to go from useful websites for entrepreneurs to AI websites for entrepreneurs, just riding those trends and pivoting it very easily with my personal brand. And now the last year has been faceless video, because that's one of our key flagship products within Syllabi. As you kind of mentioned, we're an A to Z workflow tool. When we launched Syllabi, we didn't even have video production. And when we finally added video production, it was actually AI avatars. So the ability to clone yourself and create videos with that. And we hit a market saturation point there. So we really grew very quickly when we launched Syllabi, and continued to grow for about 8 months. And then there were market saturation, AI tourism, and we actually were on a 10-month downward slope. MRR dropped, users and subscribers dropped because people are experimenting. And so we really just took that time to talk to our users, listen to our users, see what they were interested in, paying attention to those online trends. And we came to a really strategic pivot where we switched from targeting business owners specifically with AI avatars at a more premium price point. We switched to content creators, or business owners that want to be content creators and create more content faster. We switched our core offering from AI avatars to faceless video, which is a huge trend online. And we actually slashed our price in half. And what that did was exploded our business. And now we're 3 times higher than we've ever been. And we continue to grow month over month. Faceless videos are such an opportunity that we can get into. I'll kind of end my rant here, but that's kind of been the 20-year journey, and just paying attention to those online trends, as well as what I'm genuinely just interested in and passionate about. And that's allowed me to stay consistent and pivot that personal brand towards a lot of different things over the years.
You know what I love about that story? I love that you perfectly balanced the need to be consistent as a creator over a long period of time with listening to your audience and being tuned in with trends. And I think there's such a, I don't know if you agree with me, but there's such a ditch when it comes to content creation if you fall into either one of those alone. There's some people who are very consistent in posting, but they're not relevant. They're kind of saying the same thing over and over again, and they lose their market's attention and interest. And you guys pivoted both within your software and I'm sure within your content strategy, realizing that there were trends, you needed to stay consistent, but you needed to also adapt what you were messaging and what topics you were talking about at each stage. You went from, the guy, I think you said, in all of these different really sub niches, and you followed the trends, which is probably a big part of consistency. Is equally important, but it sounds to me like a big part is also listening and being tuned in to what's happening so that your social content is relevant and timely. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. You have to have a hand on the pulse, and you have to, social media is social, right? You have to lean into that audience and build a community online. I just posted something that kind of is going viral, just a thought on Facebook yesterday. Don't be a content creator, be a business owner that creates content. And that has been a huge mindset shift over the years for me too. I'm a content creator at heart, but I build businesses that allow me to be a content creator. And so I delegate a lot. I am not afraid to give tasks to other people. In fact, I do it. I outsource my suck. I bring on business partners. I don't need 100% of everything. I want to lean into my zone of genius and what I'm passionate about. And that's being a content creator, having a hand on the pulse, and being able to really lean into what's working and like the format of what's working. It's not just the topics that change over the years. Like what worked for any of us years ago is probably not going to be what works today. You have to be able to shift the subject matter and the type of delivery. And so like for years, I've been the short form video guy, but I'm not reaching 350 million people from videos on Facebook right now. They're text threads. And so I noticed that particular trend and I'm leaning into that. And that's why I'm having explosive growth. And so I constantly am testing and listening to users, and I respond to every single comment, or as many of them as I can, including the trolls, which is one of my favorite strategies. But,
always feed the trolls.
Oh my gosh, I love the trolls. But yeah, always the more that you can have that hand on the pulse. And if you're serious about content creation and you like content creation, I love this. I'm addicted to it. If you free up some of your other time, there's a great book on this, Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Do a time inventory. outsource everything.
It's right
You have that
right where my thumb is, right there.
That blew it. Yeah, such
Good old
a
Dan.
great book. There's like so many things, actionable things that I took away from that book to like just give it to other team members so that I can free up more of my time to lean into marketing and content creation and talking to our customers every single day. That's really been a huge benefit for me.
That's massive. I love what you said. Outsource the suck so you can have your finger on the pulse. And I think
Yes.
that's where a lot of people get overwhelmed and therefore they stop doing content. I've even been guilty of this myself, right? Where I'll get consistent with content for a while and then I'll get other stuff that takes up my time and I'll stop being consistent. But if I look back, it's probably because I didn't outsource the suck enough. And I was spending too much time doing that and not enough time actually keeping my finger on the pulse. So tell us a little bit about the AI tools that are now available to people, because I think probably a lot of people listening are still trying to catch up on what's possible right now with AI. So can you talk a little bit about how you're outsourcing the suck either to people or to AI or tools, and then really just what's possible now that wasn't even just 6 months ago when it comes to putting out consistent content that can get the crazy amount of reach you're seeing?
Yeah. So as far as like day-to-day logistics that I outsource, so like I have somebody that manages my email and manages my calendar, because that's just not the best use of my time. I can just look at my calendar, have notes, know where to show up. Fantastic productivity tip there. The other thing that I realized is that I can come up with the idea, I can record the content, and I can publish the content, respond to people, but I don't need to do the video editing. That is a very time-consuming aspect that I can outsource, have a team member edit that actual video, send it back to me. I kind of took that from Gary Vee's approach. Gary Vee has a very similar mentality where he loves to have a hand on the pulse, but he doesn't need to do every single component of the content creation aspect. So I have somebody that edits the videos for me. I am primarily active on TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Threads, and a little bit more on X now. But I also have somebody that manages some of my other profiles. They also manage my X. They manage my Pinterest, which Pinterest is a very slept on platform that nobody talks about, but it's a huge opportunity. And so that's what I use some people for. Now I am starting to use more and more AI tools as well. So I mentioned those text threads are what's getting me the most organic reach right now. And what I mean by that is sort of the specific format is a clickbaity headline of text with a colored background on Facebook. Very nuanced here. So like I'll say something like rest in peace Photoshop. These 5 AI tools will transform your photo editing, and I'll have a down pointing finger emoji, right? And then in the comments, each comment is a tool, right? So it's here's one tool with a description of what that tool does and the URL to do it. Now you can stack this with affiliate marketing if you're really smart as well, and have those as affiliate links. And that's a format that works exceptionally well. And so now ChatGPT, just in the last couple of months, released a functionality called tasks. And so what this does is you can train this task. And so every single day it writes these threads every single day for me. I trained a task on how to have the headline, to find different tools, the niche and industry. It's trained on my voice. And so every single morning I get a notification from ChatGPT. Here's your daily thread. And it did all the research for me. It typed everything up for me. It has all of the links. It has the clickbait headline. And so all I need to do is copy and paste that over. And they work exceptionally well over and over again. I might do a couple little language tweaks or something like that, but that saves me countless hours of like doing the research on all of these tools and coming up with all of these headlines. And then, shameless plug here with Syllabi, like, we've really replaced kind of the need for a content marketing agency. That's kind of the big tier plan, but a lot of marketing agencies actually use us for their clients. And so we kind of replaced the need to have like 5 different tools, 5 different subscription costs, and save you as the business owner, the entrepreneur, the content creator, or the agency that creates content for your clients, topic research, script generation and writing, AI voice cloning, avatar cloning of yourself if you want to be on camera, URL to video, audio to video, faceless video, animation of those videos, scheduling and publishing. You can connect all of your social media accounts to it. You can automate the process. You can bulk create. So I can go in there and say, create 4 videos a day for 30 days straight on how to be a business consultant, right? And it's going to generate 120 different topics, different titles, different scripts, different unique videos, and automatically schedule and publish them to every social media platform, automating social media growth for yourself or for your clients. And like, this was never possible even just a year ago.
That's
so many cool tools out there.
That's absolutely insane. One of the things that you just busted, a myth you just busted for me and probably for a lot of people listening, is that you can't put links in your posts or it'll kill the reach. But I love that you are busting that myth with 350 million views, where it's like, hey, I'm telling people go below, and you're giving them those tools, and you're actually putting affiliate links sometimes in the comments. So not only are you getting this massive reach and creating, I'm sure, a lot of conversation in the comments, you're probably getting clicks, sales, affiliate income through that reach, which I think is like every content creator's dream. It's like, yeah, you build reputation and reach, and that's an asset that you can always use to grow your business. But how cool would it be to actually be able to liquidate that time right away? Like, see a direct ROI. That's insane.
Yeah, just to kind of expand on that, because so you are right. So if you put a link in the actual post itself, they will completely throttle it, and you're going to reach nobody. But it has zero effect on your reach in the comments section of that. So, and I say this for YouTube videos and stuff too. I see people all the time, like experienced marketers, like posting their YouTube links as a Facebook post. Don't do that ever. It just instead say, I made you a tutorial on X, Y, and Z, and put like a little down emoji, and then put that YouTube link or that link in the comments area there. Quick other thing to highlight on that. There's a lot of different ways that you can monetize this strategy right now. So affiliate marketing, which I just mentioned, you drive clicks to that with a description and information. I cross-pollinate my platforms. So I send them over to my monetized YouTube channel. So I'll say, here's a tutorial on X, Y, and Z. In fact, I did that. So like one of my threads 2 weeks ago reached like 70 million people. So I'm like, all right, let me do a video tutorial on YouTube on this same topic, but walking through every one of the steps. Reposted that same headline and caption, but instead of the 5 comments, I linked to the YouTube video. Over 100,000 views from Facebook alone on that Facebook video, or Facebook post. That is monetized. That drives revenue. The other great way that I'm doing this is growing my email list. So there's an amazing platform called Beehive right now, which has this boost program. And basically you get paid to grow your email list for free because the other newsletters are paying to grow their subscriber account, right? And so I'll post a comment just as a closing call to action on those threads. Like, if you love this tutorial thread, you're going to love my AI newsletter, where every single week I share topics on X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. Here's my subscribe link, right? A percentage of people will subscribe to the other boosted newsletter platforms, and that monetizes as well. And so there's so many different streams of income that you can generate from this.
That's so amazing. I think that's honestly something that has been a limiting belief for me in my content game, is like, you know, you sort of, it's almost like running a marketing funnel, where a lot of experts are familiar with this idea. We talk about it a lot, of like a self-liquidating offer or self-liquidating funnel. And the reason you have to create that is because many times there's only a small percentage of people who are actually interested in your core offering or what your business does. And if you're spending money on traffic to get those people's attention, you have to have some way to liquidate some of that spend. And I think in a similar way with content creation, the cost is lower, but it can sometimes be a lot more time. And so people are like, well, how do I know that this is going to translate into an ROI? What if a lot of the people I'm reaching aren't even a good fit for my backend or service? And what I love what you're doing is you're kind of going, some of the stuff I post will directly connect to what I do, and some of it may not, but I've created ways to monetize audience building for the rest. And I just think that's brilliant. I think a lot of experts could really learn from that strategy, because even just for me, it changes the way that I would weight the importance of that time in regards to my strategy. It gives me resources to actually reinvest if it's actually earning direct revenue for whether it's affiliate marketing or channel views or whatever, advertising dollars. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, point out, like, there's pros and cons to growing a large audience and having those vanity metrics, which I genuinely do think that the vanity metrics matter. You can be insanely profitable with having a small audience that's hyper focused on the product or service that you offer, and you don't need, I have 1.5 million followers on Facebook right now. You don't need that many followers to be successful, right? But by going viral and having a large following, you can drive more products, sales, and for your services and whatnot. But it opens up all of these additional streams of income that you can reinvest back into it. And I'm making multiple 5 figures a month just from doing that strategy, that not driving sales to Syllabi at all, because there's a lot of people that are not the right fit. Just transparently, like, when you have a lot of followers, I have a lot of followers that come in from like Africa, and I love all of my supporters, but unfortunately, they're just never going to be a subscriber of Syllabi because they don't have a bank card, and the conversion rate is so high for those people over there. But I can still provide that audience a lot of value. I can still help them grow online, and I can monetize that effort as well, so that it's not just a waste of my time. I actually am getting an ROI from the effort of growing organically.
Man, that's so insightful. One of the things I'm really curious to dive into, especially in the realm of video marketing and video production, is what these AI tools can specifically do for experts that they may not even be aware of. So why don't you talk a little bit more about how the average, let's just say, coach or course creator or consultant, what should they be paying attention to as far as AI tools that could radically either grow their business or make things that they're doing right now that are very time intensive much easier?
Well, there's so many tools. Just to shamelessly plug, like, Syllabi real quick, there's other tools as well. So, like, if you have a podcast for whatever, you can upload that audio file into Syllabi. It'll transcribe the entire podcast for you, and then it'll generate a video for you around that. So you can instantly take your educational podcast for coaching, consulting, and turn it into a video for social, and distribute that across the board if you want. You can also do keyword research. So one of the best things that I learned as a coach consultant is to give your best information away for free. And that might sound counterintuitive. Give the information away for free, sell the implementation. Because they're going to know, like, and trust you, and they're going to hire you because you've resonated with their specific problem. And so if you look and do some research on what are the reasons, the emotional pain points of why someone would need to hire you in the first place, and create content around all of that. We'll show you all of the questions and data and cost per click, so you can associate dollar value with these topics, etc. across the board. ChatGPT is a no-brainer. If you're not using ChatGPT at this point, what are you waiting for?
Where have you been, bro?
Where have you been? Like, I'm sure there's at least one. Like, I think, like, the adoption rate of marketers in ChatGPT is like more than 90%. But if you're that, like, sub 10% that's not using it, please jump in there. Train a custom GPT on yourself. So like one of the things that I've done is I went through, I've done a lot of podcast interviews like this, and I do a lot of public speaking. And so I downloaded all of the transcripts, about 70 pages of Google Docs of transcripts from podcasts I've done and speech recordings that I've done. And I trained a custom GPT on all of that text data that I uploaded to it. So it knows me very well. It knows my voice. It knows my expertise. And so I can ask it questions. I have it helping me write my book right now as I write it, and then I send it through to, kind of edit it a little bit and make it flow a little better, but still in my voice with my unique words. I mentioned the tasks earlier, so you can set up daily tasks to do anything for you. Research, do particular research, do content creation, analyze what competitors are doing, feed in data like documents or spreadsheets. I have ChatGPT read every contract before I sign any contract now. I upload it into ChatGPT and basically say, are there any red flags or clauses in here that I need to be pay attention to, and that kind of acts as the first pass through for me before I look at those particular sections and then end up signing the contract. For calendar management and email management, there's platforms like Use Motion, which is awesome. I've done some, I'm not regularly using it, but I have experimented with it and used it before. It will move items around on your calendar if you completed them or not. It'll automatically reschedule in a free spot for you so that you can remain more productive. And then Superhuman is a fantastic email management tool that's AI driven as well. And so you can just, there's little commands. My wife uses Superhuman. You can just add a command like, are you free at, and it links to your like Google Calendar, and it'll show your availability on there. And you can just click a time, and it sends that to the prospect, and it automatically adds that event to your calendar. And there's all sorts of productivity tips in there as well. But in general, just to kind of summarize here, there are tens of thousands of AI tools out there now that can do every single thing that you can imagine. Like Manus just came out. AI operators and agents are going to explode this year. That can do all of the tasks for you and disrupt the need for a virtual assistant, to be honest. But, do a time inventory and look at all of the tasks that you do every day. Do this for like a week or 2 weeks and see like what are the tasks that bring you the least amount of enjoyment, that take the most amount of time, that you hate doing, and then start to look up AI solutions for those things. There's probably a tool that does 90% of that, if not 100% of that, and then use that. You don't need every single tool out there, but focus on your unique pain points as a coach, consultant, expert in whatever that you do, and seek out those tools and solutions to help you be more productive and output more.
Such good advice. I love the idea about doing a time audit. It's funny, man. We were actually just playing around with this recently, and I was pretty stunned. Where we were able to take a voice note from someone, where they're just recording a voice note, basically ranting, stream of consciousness about their area of expertise, and using an agentic workflow, which anybody who's listening doesn't understand what that is. It's like an AI that performs one task, and then it sends it to another tool, and then that tool performs a task, and then it sends it to another one, and that performs a task. So it's like multiple little helpers all playing their part along the workflow. And by the end, when it got through all the way to the end of that workflow, we had a fully built out course that was in that expert's voice. It had an AI avatar of them in the corner of the course video teaching. It had slides, and it was built like the course, the implementation exercise from a voice note, right?
Insane.
Absolutely insane. And so I'm just, for me, I think it's such a I hesitate to use the word gold rush, but it is a wild time to live, where so much for people who are experts, who have real expertise to share with the world, not generic stuff. I think it's a really unique opportunity to share that message with potentially, like you're doing, millions or even hundreds of millions of people so much faster and so much easier than has ever been possible before.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's the biggest leap forward in technology, not just since the internet, but the printing press. Like it's such an opportunity right now. This is not a trend. This is not a fad. This is not NFTs or blockchain, which is still viable technology, but was not immediately consumer accessible. And that's the difference here, is that these AI tools and solutions are immediately consumer accessible with very little technology understanding needed. Anybody can go into ChatGPT and if you can talk to Siri, you can talk to ChatGPT and get incredible outputs and link things together. Like you're saying, there's so many automation tools out there like Make and Zapier and so many new tools that are coming out to just link all of these processes together. It's an insane time to be alive, and you're almost foolish to not just start experimenting with some of these things. To be blunt,
it's so cool. Well, let's not be fools. Let's experiment. For all of you listening, Austin just called you out. Boom! Don't be a fool. Austin says, go experiment with AI.
It's your opportunity.
I want to talk about your book in just a minute and just get a little sneak peek into that. Before we do, I just want to encourage anyone listening, man, if you have not used Syllabi, syllabi.ai or .io? It's .io, isn't it?
We have both, so you can go to AI.
You can go to either one, .io. One of the things I love the most about your software, especially for me as a creator, and when I first kind of heard about you guys, I didn't really understand it because there's a lot of different tools out there doing faceless videos and doing, AI video production. But just the fact that, like you said at the beginning, it really starts with listening and having a pulse on the market. And so Syllabi allows you to do that. It allows you to actually do that market research, to start there, identify the pain points, the questions, the search traffic, the things people are actually interested in that will be relevant for you to make content around. It allows you then to pour out your expertise and your ideas and work collaboratively with AI to shape content, to address those problems, those issues, and then go through the entire workflow to produce amazing videos for social media in a fraction of the time, maybe 10% or less of the time. What would have taken 4 hours before, you can maybe do in like 4 to 10 minutes now within that software. And so I'm a wholehearted believer. Like, I'm honestly, our whole community is a raving fan. So we're just going to give you a big old endorsement out here on the Expert Scale podcast today and go,
well, thank you,
go
sir.
Check out syllabi.io or .ai if you want to get a really full stack solution to start putting out amazing AI videos that are relevant content. And who knows, maybe you'll get on the Austin train and start seeing your posts go viral. But tell us a little bit more about it. Give us as we begin to wrap here, give us a little insight into this book you've mentioned twice that you're writing about. Do you mind giving us just a few little nuggets or pieces from what's going to be in there?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's basically my 20-year journey of being a social media marketer, and what's working right now. So it's going to be a very tactical business book, kind of focused on video marketing in particular, how to monetize in a lot of different ways. So I said in that quote earlier that I posted yesterday, don't be a content creator, be a business owner that creates content. That's really the mindset shift of this book, is how to create content that actually goes viral on every single platform, how to actually do it, how to incorporate AI to help you along the way. There's going to be interviews with some of my content creator friends and colleagues, very successful people online, as well as stories from my 20 years of experience to make all of those tactics and strategies a little bit more relatable as well. So it's, very much hero's journey focused with actionable tactics that you can immediately implement. It's probably going to be the best $20 you'll ever invest.
Well, man, I can't wait till it drops. We're gonna read it, and maybe we'll have to have you back when the book drops, and we'll make sure people can get that into their hands. Well, Austin, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on the show today. I know you brought so much value to our listeners. Is there anything as we kind of wrap that you'd say as encouragement to somebody who doesn't have 20 years of experience, but they're like, man, I really want to own this social media game. I really want to grow. What would you say to them as we wrap today?
Perfectionism is procrastination. Just start, stay consistent, and make micro improvements along the way. Never quit.
So good. Such good advice. Man, this episode was hot sauce, strong sauce, whatever platform you're listening on. Please make sure you go give it a review in exchange for the amazing value Austin brought today. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, give it a comment. And Austin, we just can't thank you enough. Hey, man, I'm excited. I'm going to start competing with you on social media. I'm going to take all these tactics, see if I can get to at least 10% of Austin Armstrong's online fame. That'd be great, man.
I'm competitive, brother. Get ready.
Next time we'll come back and you'll be like, I get 2 billion views every week. Well, thanks again, man, for being on.
Thank you.
Yeah.